Oop ruins his dad and stepmom's marriage by telling her the truth. I am not op. Original post by you. Told him the truth in our, am I the asshole in our, relationship advice. Trigger warning. Infidelity. Less than. Mood spoiler. Hopeful. Less than. /AITA for telling my dad the real reason why I don't want to go on vacation with him, his family, and potentially ruining his marriage. The 26th of March 2022. I am a 17-year-old male. When I was around 9, my dad, 39M, started seeing a friend of my mom's. Cheated on my mom. They married, and they now have 3 kids together. My dad asked for custody and he was granted to have me on weekends. He seemed happy to have me and always tried to include me in everything, but it was kind of weird and frustrating. He even tried to make me call his wife mom, and went for full custody several times. Since being with his wife and making me accept his new family was more important than spending actual time with me alone, I stopped going to his house when I was 14. He tried to fight for full custody after my mom started dating my stepdad. A nice guy, but I told him to stop. The other reason why I stopped going, I never told my dad this one, is because his wife was so hostile towards me. My dad used to pay attention to me when I was there, so I think she didn't like it that way, and one day told me behind my dad's back that I was an obstacle to my dad's happiness, that I should just stay with my mom full time. Their anniversary was 5 days ago. I didn't want to go, but he called my mom to threaten that if I didn't go, he'd go to court. He took his 4 kids, including me, his wife, his parents, and his parents-in-law to celebrate at a nice restaurant. Once there, he said that he had 6 tickets for vacations. I didn't say anything, but then he looked at me and said, "One is for you." I said, "Thanks, but I'm not going." He seemed angry and said, "Okay, I had enough. Why don't you want to go?" "Just because," I said, but then he asked the same questions 5 more times, so the 6th time I said, "Because I hate your wife." Then he started asking, why, over and over again, so I ended up telling him the mean things she said to me. He was seemingly uncomfortable but told us to finish our meal. No one talked for the rest of the night, and after we finished I asked my stepdad to pick me up. I haven't spoken to my dad since. He just sent me a message asking if I changed my mind about the trip, but I said no. My cousin told me that my dad is staying at my grandparents' now. His wife texted me yesterday calling me a brat and asking if I was happy for potentially destroying my half-sibling's home life. But I just ignored her. My cousin says that the kids are hurt and crying because my dad isn't at home, and she says that I should just have said other things or agree and then tell him later that I wasn't going. Here is an update, guys. https www.reddit.com/user/told him the truth. Comments: Boo338, you are my dad and I in a better place. Verdict: not the a-hole. Are my dad and I in better place? The 8th of July 2022. Well, since a lot of you guys have been messaging me asking about my situation, and I'm finally done with my finals, which means that I have time. Here is an UPDATE. Single quote. I didn't show my father the mean messages she sent me, as many of you suggested, because I don't want this woman going around saying that I destroyed her life and all of her tea. So I didn't really do it, and I won't. That's on her. My dad has been so apologetic, and after a few days I posted here for the first time. He picked me up to hang out. Just the 2 of us. He apologized and even cried for not realizing before what the issue was. He said it was never his intention to make feel that way. He promised he'd never let her get between us again. He begged me not to hate him. I don't know where he got that from. I love him. Because he doesn't want me to cut him off, since he wants to be there for my wedding and also as a grandpa to my kids. And then he got a little emotional saying how much he loves, etc. He basically promised to be a better father. He asked me if I changed my mind about the trip and I said yes. I'll go. It'll be just me, my dad and his kids. It'll be in August and I know she is furious for being excluded but hasn't texted me or anything. So that's it. My dad and I talk more often. And we also hang out more. I've been to his house a couple of times. Just for a few hours, but his wife and I just ignore each other. So that's it, I guess. I'm going on the trip with my dad and half-siblings. Someone asked me about the relationship I have with the boys. Well, we get along. Thus we can't really do a lot of things together since we have different interests. They are 8, 7, 5 all male. But I love them and I know they love their big brother. They say it lol. My girlfriend will come with us instead of Clara, Dad's wife. The 6th of August 2022. Since some of you texted me to know how things are going on, here is a little update. My dad thought it was a great idea to ask my girlfriend to come with us instead of his wife. I was hesitant at first, but then my girlfriend said that she wanted to come with us. So it's gonna be my dad, his 3 kids, me and my GF. It's great. I finally can have time alone with my dad without her around. Oop posted on our relationship advice. GF showed my dad some messages I didn't want him to see. The 29th of November 2022. She lost my trust. I've shown her and only her some messages my dad's wife sent me a couple of months ago, where she was insulting me for ruining her marriage. I didn't want my dad to see the messages because I didn't want to cause any more drama. While we were on a trip a couple of weeks ago, my GF unlocked my phone and showed my dad the messages even if I told her I didn't want to. My dad got mad at me for not showing him the messages before but didn't say anything else for the rest of the trip. I got really mad at my GF and had barely spoken to her since. The thing is that my dad and his wife are not in a good place now. Clara has already moved to her parents and my siblings stayed with my dad. According to my dad, this is a break to rethink the whole relationship. But I feel like garbage. My dad seemed so happy before I told him why I hated his wife and now this has just gotten worse. It seems like I destroyed my dad's happiness and which is worse. My siblings. My dad says this isn't my fault and that I'm the one who has to forgive him, but that doesn't prevent me from feeling like if I destroyed their happy family life. I don't think I can trust my GF after this. Inconclusive because OOP hasn't posted in months. Reminder, I am not op. That scene in the restaurant though, shows the dad has zero emotional intelligence. Tell me, 6 times. He shouldn't have brought so much pressure to the situation. He needs to sort out his ways of dealing with stuff. OP's stepmom is a pos, but the dad doesn't seem much better at all. Never start drama on holiday, especially if stuck on a boat. Edit. Dunno why I pictured this happening on a cruise ship, haha. The only people I feel bad for is OOP, the kids, and OOP's mom. OOP's dad made his bed. Dad blew his whole life up by screwing his wife's friend and tripled down with 3 more kids. I feel sorry for the children involved. But I think it's funny when cheaters get their comeuppance. OOP needs to stop worrying about his dad's happiness. That man made his bed when he cheated on his wife with her friend. If he's unhappy, that's his own damn fault. If it can be destroyed by truth, it deserves to be. Unpopular opinion, OpGF did the right thing. Op's stepmom, you're ruining a family and kids' lives. What do you think you did when you banged your friend's husband while he had a kid? Meh. I hate to say it, But I'm kinda on the girlfriend's side on this last update. Oop should have shown his father the messages a long time ago. Even at the expense of more drama, or whatever. While she shouldn't have been the one to show the guy. He needed to know what the stepmom was saying, doing. Probably the dad is going to go back to Clara. This is the same guy who cheated on his wife with her BF and repeatedly went to court against his ex-wife just to be mean. OP's dad deserves to know how sick his wife is. Especially after he cheated on OP's mom with a witch. The audacity of the affair partner to try alienate OP from his father is sick. OP is way too nice. OP's GF was right to show those messages. People like the stepmom will never be happy and will always work on trying to destroy others. And that is her karma. OP's dad's karma is being stuck with an evil BTCH for the rest of his life. Wow, so OP's dad is surprised that a woman who would betray her friend by having an affair with her husband may not actually be a nice person. Shocker. Face with raised eyebrow. Sounds like GF sacrificed the relationship so that dad would know the truth. I honestly don't know whether to condemn that a breach of trust, but to expose horrid behavior. If she knew the likely outcome. That was brave but incredibly chaotic. Anyone that told Oop to keep those messages to himself are idiots and have potentially led to Oop pushing away his GF because now he's adamant those Redditors were right and she was in the wrong. The dad has every right to be made fully aware of how disgusting his wife is. The GF was helping Oop because clearly he wasn't making the right choices. No, she shouldn't have done it behind his back nor went on his phone, but with Oop being this angry at her for this, I can only assume he pushed back on her any time she brought it up. GF cared about Oop enough to show the dad how much his wife was hurting Oop with her accusations. He was being hurt again and again by the people who should have cared for him and raised him to be a good person. Dad did the worst sort of damage to Oop by being ignorant of all the misery his wife caused Oop. I don't know why people consider being married to be the same as happiness. It's pretty clear that this woman was willing to sabotage this guy's relationship with his kids. And surely in that scenario the way to protect his happiness is for him to have all the facts. Poor Oop. Being forced in the middle of all this drama and he just wants to be left in peace. I hope he forgives his GF. Whether or not he decides to trust her again. As much as what she did wasn't okay. I'd be tempted if I were in her situation. Dad deserves to know how much of a crummy person his wife is being to his son. Women who get with men with kids. Especially the home-wrecking besties. Office mates and side chicks who knowingly get with a married man. And then turn around and ostracize the kids whose homes, lives and entire sense of safety they just shattered and upended. Will always have a permanent resting place on the steel wool hairs of Satan's asshole. Oop is so young to have already learned to do so much to protect everyone's feelings except their own. It's heartbreaking heartbreak. Sounds like Oop's GF loves him more than he loves himself. He thinks he is being selfless, but why would he want his dad to potentially stay with such a horrible person?
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.